Hello and welcome. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Sharon and this is Trio.of.Witches Tarot, and this is another unboxing because they are coming fast and furious right now from my Kickstarters from even 2 years ago. Okay, I have enough daylight left, I think, to do my unboxing of this. I have one Halloween fingernail left on each hand. Very funny. They've all popped off while I've been doing my Halloween decorating. So we are going to open the Ethereal Goddess Tarot. I didn't even know this was arriving today. Just arrived while I was out front decorating for the trick-or-treaters for tomorrow. So it's a nice rose petal box. This is bigger than a regular tarot. This is quite large and I don't have a regular tarot handy. Very nice. And thank you for the whole fold out kind of box. They're very nice. Okay, so while the box is bigger, it is, and then it's got one of these cardboard things which I will probably remove because they just kind of over time are just annoying. I'll just put it in a bag in there with this book. And that's the back of the box. And this is the book, so we might need to zoom in to have a look at the book. Let's take a quick look. So the pearl is instead of the fool, and then most of them it looks like the only one that's renamed there. And then the suits have not been renamed. We have a foreword. How to work with this book. So it looks like it's going to have a poem for each entry, a poem, keywords, astrological correspondences, symbols, the meaning upright and the meaning reversed. And then we have a key to symbols. Oh, but no, we have the divine teacher instead of the Hierophant. Okay, I totally missed that. The surrendered instead of the hanged man. The knight instead of death. And the storm instead of the tower. And then we have some spreads. And then we get into the meanings. So the font is a little small. It's not like the worst small, but it is a little small. But we get the meaning upright and the meaning reversed on either side instead of up and down. Interesting. And there's just it's not, I wouldn't even call it a poem. It's just a stanza or just a line. I don't know. I don't know literature very well. And then we have the same thing for the minors. And they look color-coded. Cool. And just a paper band. I like that people are doing these paper bands now. And it's edged in a rose gold kind of pink. Like the others are. The other decks by the same creator. I have the Trio.of.Aphrodite. I think I only have the second edition of that one anymore. And then this one and the Venus Morningstar, is that what it's called? Okay, well I lost some of my footage, so we are going to do a quick recap and reflip through. So it's the inside of the box, and it's got one of these cardboard things in it, which I don't love, so I'll probably, let me see, there's a card stuck in there now. I'll probably take this out, see how easily does this come out. Pretty easy, and then I'll probably just put the cards, so it's the title card. Probably just put the cards in a bag with a book in here. And as pretty as this is, they just annoy me. And that's the back of the box. So first and foremost, there's a lot of nudity in this deck. If you don't like nudity in tarot, then don't look at this deck. So we have the pearl instead of the fool. And then in the corners we have some symbols which I don't know if the book addresses those. Let's look real quick. And then we have a waxing moon for growth there, I think. Also, it's the high priestess, so moon. And then we have the pomegranate up there. Get my pointer out. It might be a lot of pointing in this one. So there is some collaging, like this looks digitally collaged in. And I'm going to guess this is definitely collage. We're going to have to put up with the sound of the heater being on for just a little bit. And then we have our symbols again. So we have Jupiter, okay, and then we have the key over here, because this is, instead of the Hierophant, we have the divine teacher. And then the lovers, we have Gemini and Mercury. The Chariot, we have, I mean, that looks like a star. So that's Cancer there. Okay. Yeah, I like this idea of having the little glyphs in the corners. They're unobtrusive enough that if you don't want to, or don't read with astrology, you can just ignore them. So the Surrendered instead of the Hanged one. And the Knight instead of Death. I'm not. Temperance. It's a Great Devil. Look at all these little people down here. Storm instead of the Tower. Star. Nice star. The Moon. Nice choice for the Sun. Judgment. Almost feels like a 9 of Swords. And the World. So far I'm liking that a lot of this art is not art that I think I have in other curated art decks. Burning Heart for the Ace of Wands, like it. And then we still have our glyphs up here. We have the element, and then we have our little glyph for whatever suit we're in. I feel like could have just left the glyph here and we didn't need the number 2 because we have it down here. Feels redundant. Nice. Almost feels like a 3 of Cups. Put the 4 of Wands and the 3 of Cups. But I'm not entirely dissimilar. Nice choice for the 6. 7. Interesting. 8. I don't know. That's an interesting one. A 9 of Wands. I think the guidebook helps make that connection. Lots of boobies in this. Wonder if that's why a lot of this art is not seen in other decks, just because of the nudity. Really like this choice for the Ace of Cups. So so the aces, I guess, have the element on them, and then we have the glyph moving forward in that corner. Okay. Don't know. That one makes sense. Yeah, this one is of all of the tarots, the three. This one feels the furthest stretch from traditional tarot, I feel like. That one feels right. Some of these cards are gonna take a little more thought. That's cute. I like that. Could have almost been a chariot. Yeah, I think when creating curated art decks, it can be a little bit more difficult just because the art was not intended for tarot. So far, I'm really loving the aces. I mean, I'm loving lots about this deck, but this is like you have the angel and the devil on your shoulders making a choice like that. Okay. Interesting. I mean, the imagery, you can recognize that it would be the Six of Swords, but they look much happier than generally I think about people on the Six of Swords. It's a very pretty deck. Page looks a little angry. Okay, I like that. Okay, that works for the ace, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of processing. A lot of this art feels like a stretch. I feel like I've seen him in one of my other decks. Maybe not. So okay, I have a few pairings for this. So the first one, obviously, will be the Musings of Aphrodite by the same creator. And I have every expectation that this will be a fabulous pairing. And while I don't usually pair decks by the same creator, I think in this instance, stylistically, they're different enough that I will. Yeah. The pink is a little different, and that throws me a little, but there are many different colored borders actually in this. Yes, this works. But then, I wholly expected it to work. Except this card always throws me off. It's actually a painting, it's just the style of it is so different from everything else. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to try a couple different broccoli ones. The Flower Oracle. I already like this better than the last one. Yes! Proving to myself once again that I prefer pairings that are not by the same creator. Oh, this is so nice. Yeah, really like this. Very nice. Very feminine. Okay, and then we're going to try the Seashell Oracle. And I don't know which one I'm going to like better. I might like one equally, just differently. I think I like the flower one better. Interesting. I thought for sure I was going to like this one as equally. But, no. No, this pairs better with the Venus Morningstar. Okay, so Flower Oracle it is. So this is a Make Playing Cards deck. Pretty sure it's Make Playing Cards. Beloved Mary Oracle. Definitely not going to be for everyone. Okay, I like this too. Yeah. Yes. For me, this works. I appreciate that not everyone is going to like an oracle based on Mary. But I like this. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that look at the new Ethereal Goddess Tarot. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself and have a nice day. Bye.